Today I'm going to show you how this timestamp trunk function works in Bigquery. So the function is very useful when you want to convert your timestamp into different date part. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. So you can see that I'm already inside my dummy Bigquery account, and what I would do for this demo, as usual, I would just use some data sets from Bigquery public data. So you can see there are a lot of data sets to play around. So I'll start with one of my favorite, which is Austin bike share. So you can see there are like two tables, bike share stations and bike share trips. But for our demonstration purposes, we'll use the bike share trips one. Cool. So the first step would be, let's say, write the query. So here I'm in a tab inside Bigquery, and I'll just limit it to 1000 records anyway, because I wouldn't need anything more than that. But for your understanding, this limit thing doesn't really save your cost from Bigquery. So if you see like the limit is 1000 a year, it's gonna cost 231 megabytes. If I get rid of it, still the cost is the same. So it's not like, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't save your cost. So it's your wish. How would you like to run the query? Anyways, if I just select run, we would see how the table looks like. So a lot of columns are here, but the point of our interest would be the start time column. So that's the only column we have timestamp in it. So yeah, let's just quickly grab some of the random columns so that it makes easier for us to see inside. So let's take the trip ID, bike ID, start station ID, and finally our desired start time. Cool. I'll just run it. So there you see, we have start time column where they're like, that's a timestamp, and they're like mainly 2 date parts, or I would say 3 date parts, including the time zone information anyways. So that's the date, that's the hour, minute, and seconds, as well as the timestamp. Sorry, time zone, what I mean. So what we need to do is, let's say we need to convert this. For example, let's start with converting this timestamp into a date, where we would just have this value. So we have like very old function that works in many version of MySQLs or other SQL versions, which is just typing date in front of the column name. So just run it. Sorry, I got some cold today. It's very cold out there. It's 25th of November today. Cool. So if you see here, I converted this timestamp to date, but if you look at this, there's one information missing. So the time zone information. So if that's something you care about, the time zone, then using the date function is not for you. So what I need to do is use timestamp trunk. So it just works this way. Sorry. So you see, like, it shows a bit suggestion like how the function works. So what I need to do is, like, at first put the timestamp expression here. For our case, that would be the start time column. Then the date part, like the part of the date where, or the timestamp we're interested on. And in addition, that's like an optional thing if we want to also include the time zone information as well. So yeah, let's just convert this timestamp into date. So I do start time and then type date, and we just rename the column as start date. So run it. You'll see it has been converted into date. For the other time part, date part, So everything is 0 out there, and we also have the time zone information out there. So similarly, if you wish, you can convert that to an hourly level. So start time, hour, let's call it start hour. You can also convert that as a minute level. So let's say if you don't really care about the seconds there, so start time, minute, let's call it start minute. You can also convert it to like some other things like week or something. So start timestamp trunk, start time, week. So let's just start week. Let's just run this query and see how does it look. So if you see, that was our main column. That was one, like I didn't rename it anyway. That's why it looks F0 or something, really odd. So that's when we converted by date function. This is one. Then when we converted using a timestamp trunk to a day, so you see we have the date part all solid, but for the time part, it's all 0. And when you converted it to hour, you see like the hour one is there. So 13, 17, 17, 17, so it's there. And when you convert it to minute level, so you'll have the minute as well. So interesting thing happened when you convert it to week level. So what happens is it would just convert this date to the start date of the week. So if you see, so it was 19, the start date of the week was 13, so it just converted it to this 13. So yeah, I think we can also do is we can convert it to month level. So timestamp start time, let's try with month. So start, I think with that what we get is just, let's say, first date of each month. Start month, just run it. Cool. See, so what you get is the first date of each month. So let's say it was December, so you see 1st of December. It was February, so 1st of February, and so on, and some other dates as well if you just go up there. So see October and so on. Yeah, that's pretty much all this timestamp trunk thing does. And if you're just curious to know a bit more about if there's like other things you could do, like changing the time zones and stuff, you just Google it using timestamp trunk from for Bigquery, and there is a pretty good documentation that you can look into. Cool. So yeah, that was pretty much all from me. See you in another video. Goodbye.